Just check to see if we are live on YouTube. Here we go. And that is ready. Okay, so welcome everyone. If you have joined us before, I am not usually the face that you get to see asking questions. I'm Carrie Seidel with Minnesota Ag in the Classroom. And my colleague Sue today is off doing a workshop for teachers down in the Winona area. So I'm gonna be running tech and doing our questions at the same time. We're gonna try something a little bit different today. So teachers, you're gonna have two different ways to have your students ask questions. The first one is you can just type their questions with the student name in the chat or in the Q&A, and I will ask Tyler those questions. Your second choice is if you'd like your students to be able to ask their questions verbally or on camera, if you can find the raise your hand feature and raise your hand, I will promote you to a panelist and you'll be able to unmute and turn on your camera when your classroom is called on. So again, that's going to be two ways. I'll put that in the chat. If you use the raise your hand feature, I will promote you to panelist and you can ask questions verbally on camera, or you may put your questions in the chat. So I see I have one person from Miss Bassett's. We're going to promote to panelist. So Tyler, while everyone is working on that and I'm promoting people to the panelists, could you go ahead and share with us a little bit about your farm? I know we all watched the video before we came, but tell us again about your farm, where it's at, and a little bit about your family.
Yep. Okay. So today we're at Square Deal Dairy. We started the farm in 1997. My dad and grandpa had been farming way before that. We are actually the 5th and 6th generation farm currently at the dairy with myself and my parents and my brothers. We milk about 550 Holstein cows 3 times a day, and we raise all of our own babies till they're teenagers, till they're moms, and then we raise all of our own crops as well. We have corn, soybeans, and hay, which all go into our cow diets that we raise for our own cows. We're located in Randolph, Minnesota. We've been on this location since 1997, but my parents raise the heifers, the teenagers at their facility, which we've had since 1900-ish. So we've been in the area for a long time.
Great. Okay, so we've got some questions coming in. We're going to start with a question here from the chat, and then Miss Averys' class, you will be up next on camera to ask your question. So we're going to start with a question from the chat. Miss Zimmerman's class, Tyler, would like to know, what is the average weight of an adult cow?
Okay, so that's a great question. The average weight of an adult cow can vary. Obviously, as they get older, they get a little bit bigger. But I would say, like, when a cow calves in, she's probably, for the first time as a two-year-old cow, she's about 1,200 to 1,300 pounds, and they can grow anywhere to 18 to 2,000 pounds. I would say our herd average is probably in that 1,500 pound mark for a cow's weight when she gets to be about 3 or 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They're big girls.
Yeah, those are very large animals. Miss Averys' class, you are up here on the spotlight. I'm going to unmute you, and you can go ahead and ask your first question.
Hi, I'm Cece, and how many cows do you have?
Yep. Cece, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. We milk about 550 cows, and then there's about 620 total cows on the farm, with the cows that aren't being milked and the ones like behind me that are waiting to have babies. And then we raise all of our own young stock. So we're just right around 1,000 total animals on the farm, between the farms that we have.
Thank you.
No problem. Great question.
Miss Averys' class, do you have one more question?
Yes, we do.
Go for it.
What's your name?
My name's Talia, and I'm wondering, do you have anything except milk glue?
Do you have any, do your cows, I think you're asking,
Yep.
do they make milk, or maybe does their milk go to cheese?
Yeah. So with that, yep, our milk. So on the milk side, our cows nine months out of the year, our cows make milk, liquid milk, milk that you drink on the table or have in school, as well as for 3 months out of the year, our milk goes to ice cream. So during the cooler months or during the warmer months, so it's probably starting in April, May, and June to get, there's always a surplus of ice cream you guys eat when it gets warmer, right? So our milk goes to ice cream those months out of the year, and sometimes it goes to yogurt, just depending on the demand that the creamery that we sell to on what they need to make. And then from an other side on the farm, we also, have crops, and we have about 200 to 250 acres of crops every year that get made into, that's either sweet corn or vegetable crops, as in like peas or green beans that go to a local processing plant that go into canning or bags or like stuff that you guys would eat at your guys' kitchen tables and at school.
Thank you.
Great questions, Miss Averys class. Okay, Tyler, before we go to the next question, our friends at Sunset Hill, I need for your teachers to go on and find where it says me and the panelist and rename yourself to your teachers' names. It's my fault that I had Miss Bassett give everyone the same link. So if you could rename yourself, that will help me. We're gonna take a question from the chat, and then Tegan, you're gonna be up next to ask a question. So Tyler, Miss Zimmerman's class is also asking, does a cow ever have bad milk? And what do you do if there is bad milk?
Yep. No, that's a great question. So I would say 99.9% of the time, cows have great, extremely healthy milk that's always sellable, always drinkable. We obviously would never sell a product that we wouldn't serve to my kids, as well as we wouldn't drink ourselves. But sometimes cows do have bad milk. Sometimes they maybe their buddy accidentally steps on them or pushes them, where they might get a little injury or something. And in that case, if it's abnormal, we dump it, we discard it. We would never sell something like that. And it's also still though viable for the calves. So we're able to pasteurize that on site and feed that to our baby calves. So we're not wasting the product, but we would never sell a product that we wouldn't intake ourselves.
Thank you. Tegan, are you ready to ask your question? Okay, I'll unmute. Now go ahead and ask your question.
How old are the cows when they stop getting milked?
That's a great question. So we milk the cows for as long as they want to. We always make sure they're comfortable and healthy, and they keep going. They can go for as long as they want to. We've got cows in the herd that are 12, 13, 14 years old. So there really isn't an end point. It's just all is how well and how they can stay healthy and be managed in our facility, so they stay comfortable and cool during the winters and cool during the summers and warm during the winters.
Good question, Tegan. Thank you. Mr. Murray's class, you're going to be up next to ask your question. In the meantime, Tyler, can you tell us what we can see behind you and tell us a little bit about your new Freestall Barn that we saw in the video?
Yep. So right behind me is a group of about, I think there's 45 cows in there right now. Normally there's about 30. We're due to have a pretty big baby boom here, but these are all cows that are going to have babies within the next 3 weeks. So they all get moved here so we can keep a closer eye on them. We can assist them if they need help, because just like humans, just like every type of animal, sometimes the birthing process can be difficult, and it's easier for us to keep an eye on them, as well as help them transition from, being a cow that's not milking to becoming milked and have that calf. It just gives us a better idea to be able to, and we also hone in on their nutritional needs as well to better them for energy to have the calf as well. And with the cows right behind me. Yep.
Jenna, can you just change the video real quick so we can see the outside of the Freestall Barn that we saw in the video?
Yep. So right behind me now, with all the fans, you can see this is the Freestall Barn that we built in 2019. It was in the video that Dalvin was in with us, that we walked the cow in and showed where the cows live. There's 420 cows in that barn. It's tunnel ventilated. That's why you see all the fans at this end. At the other end, there's curtains that let the air come through, and it allows us to have a lot of air exchange. So there's always fresh in there. Even during the winter, the fans are running. It keeps it cool. Yeah, it does keep it a little bit colder, but it, just like us, we always need fresh air, so the cows need it. And with the barn, we're able to keep it comfortable. It it never got above 75 degrees, 80 degrees in there this year, even during the summer. We have sprinklers. We have nice beds that we bed every day and refresh their bedding every day for the cows as well.
So those cows might be more comfortable than you are inside right now.
Yeah, essentially we give, on average, our cows get new sheets every other day. And I don't know if many people can say that at home. So
we cannot at my house. Okay, Mr. Murray's class, I'm going to bring you up on Spotlight, and you are now unmuted. So go ahead and ask your question. Yep. Oh, hold on. I thought you were unmuted. Oh, I think you're going to have to come closer, dear. Mr. Murray, for some reason, the audio is not quite. It may not be working. So Mr. Murray, could you send me her question in the chat and we'll make sure that we get it asked, because it's not quite working for us. We'll come back and we can also try that again later. Tyler, we do have a question that I'll ask you from the chat. And after that, we will go to Miss Bassett's class, who's wearing the red Gap sweatshirt. So your question from Violet from Fulwell Elementary, she would like to know, how much do the calves weigh when they're born?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, actually, spin over here. These baby calves here are about a month old. If you can see them, they're about a month old. So when a baby calf is born, our baby calves average between 68 and probably 80 pounds. That's kind of a wide variety, but it also depends on the size of the mom. You know, some of the younger cows have a little bit smaller calves, as well as some of the bigger cows can have bigger calves. But I would say on average, we're about that 72 to 75 pound mark. And then, these are already probably 140, 150 pound calves within the month. They double their weight size pretty quickly.
Okay. Great question, Violet. Okay, Miss Bassett's class, I just hit unmute. So you should be able to go ahead and ask your question.
My question my name is Deary, and my question is there any male cows, and what's it like taking care of male cows?
Yep, that's a great question.
Thank you.
So we do have some males on the farm that we keep, that we raise for ourselves, but normally we actually sell them as baby calves to local farmers in the area that raise the baby calves for us. That way we just don't have the amount of room either, as if Jenna wants to just pick up the camera a little bit and span. We have about 80 hutches, and we need them all for baby heifer calves. So we do kind of run into a pinch on just total room that we have. So we do sell them and let other farmers raise them for us. But great question.
Miss Bassett's class, do you have one more question you'd like to ask? All right, I see she is coming on up to the front. We'll go ahead and hit unmute.
So my name is Danya, and my question is, do you have a favorite cow, and why is it your favorite cow?
Yep. No, that's a great question. I've got a lot of favorite cows, but we've got probably 10 to 15 out of all the cows that are red and white cows, like you saw in the video. And there's none up there right now. And we have red cows. My brothers and I bought those when we were, probably when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. We bought a couple red cows, and it kind of was a fun experience for us, and it kind of got out of hand. So now we have a lot more of them. But we like them. I like the cow Barley that's in the picture. And then we actually also have a baby red heifer calf that my son named Koala Bear that I really like too.
Great question. Thank you. Okay, up next, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, Tyler, from Mr. Murray's class. And we weren't able to get their audio working, so they put them in the chat for me. Miss Price's class, we're going to head to you next. So have 2 people ready to ask questions. So Tyler, your questions from Mr. Murray.
Yep.
Class. Let's see. Ashlyn would like to know, if there is one animal you could have other than cows, what farm animal would it be?
Probably the animal that's running around like a maniac today. We've got a farm dog that we just love. His name's Reggie, and he's always here. I actually got him 7 years ago for my wife for a Christmas present. So he's been with me for a long time. He's our favorite farm animal besides the cows.
And boys and girls, I was told that today is Reggie's 7th birthday.
Yep.
So we'll want to wish him a good birthday. All right, Miss Ice's class, I'm gonna bring you up and we'll go ahead and ask you to unmute. See if that's working. Oh, I think we can hear you. No, yes, we can. All right, go ahead.
I have a question. My name's Olivia, and which creamery do you use to get the milk?
Yep, that's a great question. So we actually sell our milk through AMPI, which is American Milk Producers Incorporated, and there's a lot of locations throughout, but our milk is subcontracted through Calves up in the cities. So our milk only travels about 25 miles a day is all the farther it goes. I mean, our milk leaves the farm here and it's in the creamery within 30 minutes, and then it's on your table within the next day from being liquid milk. So long story short, yes, we sell, our milk goes into Kemp's milk is the answer to that.
And Tyler, I think we had talked about it before. Some of that Kemp's milk could end up in classrooms.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
So Miss Ice's class, if you have one more question to ask, and Jenna, there he is, he's back. So Miss Ice class, go ahead.
My name is Aggie, and how do you know if to turn your milk into how do you know your milk is 1% or 2% skim milk?
Tyler, I don't know if you could hear that, but how do you know if it's 1%, 2% skim milk?
Yep, that's a great question. So actually, when the milk leaves the farm, it is all whole milk, because when we ship our milk, it's over 4% butterfat here. So actually, that happens at the creamery when they would in their processing and pasteurizing, they dilute it down to being more skim or 1%, whatever you would like to buy in the stores.
That was a great question.
That was a really good question.
Miss Ice class. Okay, we are going to ask another question from the chat. Then we'll go to Miss Johnson, and then Zach, it'll be your turn. Okay, so question in the chat, Miss Johnson's class, and then Zach. Mr. Murray's class, I forgot to ask your second question. Connor would like to know, do you get wasps on your farm?
Yeah, we do get wasps on our farm. Actually, I had some up by my house 2 weeks ago, but we really don't. I would say really the only thing that we have is flies. Just like everything, there can be wasps anywhere, but we also help fly spray all of our calves and cattle, just so it helps, they don't have hands like we do to swat flies away. So we help them out by fly spraying, or we put some tape that has a fly repellent on it in each of the calf hutches.
One more question from the chat. Ms. Zimmerman's class would like to know, do you name your cows or do they have a number?
Yep. So all of our baby calves and cows have numbers. We have about 400 heifer calves born a year, so that we'd be running out of names pretty fast. But we do name some do get names, but otherwise they all get identified, and even the ones with the names, they all get identified as a number, just for a universal across the farm. Everybody kind of has an understanding of the cow's number then, and we can all identify it the way of.
And Tyler, I think we saw that in the pre-recorded video where you were talking about those tags and how you use that to track all sorts of information.
Yep. They actually have a little microchip in them too that helps us. It actually connects the parlor to the computer, so every day I can look up and see exactly what that cow produced for milk. I can see if she's had how many babies she's had. I can see every life event she's had. I can see on the computer.
That's pretty spectacular. You can know all of that from their ear tags. That's great. Miss Johnson's class, I see that you are ready. I'm going to ask you to unmute. There we go.
Okay, Emily, ask. How many gallons of milk does a cow get in a day?
Help me.
Did you catch that? How many gallons of milk does a cow produce in a day, Tyler?
Yep. So on our farm, we average about 90 pounds of milk a day. So on the farm, we weigh everything in pounds and not gallons. But if you were to figure that out, it's just a little bit of almost 10 gallons a day is what it would be per cow, is what you get.
Great. Ms. Johnson, did you have another question or just one?
Oh, we can just go with that one. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a good question. Okay, I said after them was going to be Zach, and Zach looks like he is joining us on his own, so we'll add him. And Zach, if I think you're unmuted now. Ask your question.
Hi, I'm Zach. I live on a beef farm, and
Okay.
we get our calves wienered about 8 months, kind of that area.
Yep.
And how long does it take for your cows to be bred again after that calf?
So how long until your cows are bred again after they have a calf?
Yep. So on average our cows have a baby calf every 13 months. So a little over a year they have a baby. Yep. So they produce milk for about 9 or 10 months and then have a 3-month break before they have calves.
Great question, Tyler. Or I'm sorry, Zach. And
Zach,
Tyler, you can't see it, but Zach has a beef hat on. So
Oh, good.
Eat more beef?
and drink more milk, right, Zach? And cheese.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find another question. And I know there's at least a class or two that we have not gotten to yet. Let's see here. Let's go with, I think it's Miss Michael's class is asking again about how the cows are numbered. Does their number identify the year they were born or signify something else?
Nope. They all just go right in numerical order. We actually write the information on each calf. So all of our calves have birth dates on the front of them. So we know when they were born. So as we're walking through the hutches, our calves are on milk for about 10 weeks. So we kind of know, when they're ready to get weaned and go on to just hay and grain or grain, hay and water instead of with milk too. And then on the back, we write some information that pertains to like their sire, the father and mother of them.
Now, Tyler, I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but what is the breed of cattle that you have here at your dairy?
Yep, we primarily have all Holstein cows. We have Holstein, so black and white. It's the most popular in the United States. They're bigger. They're the biggest dairy breed. They're big frame cows, taller. Really docile cows though too. So we like working with them. Like I said, I probably mentioned them twice. I have a son that's 3 years old that's fearless around him, and the cows don't really mind him walking in and out of the pens with them. So
Macy from Miss Jensen's class is wondering what colors do different types of dairy cows come in, and what is your favorite color cow? I think you might have touched on some red and white that you might like.
Yep. The Holstein. So Holsteins are black and white, and then there also is red and white Holsteins, which are a red or chocolate colored or a darker maroon colored. That they're red and white, and then there's obviously all the other breeds within Jersey, Brown, Swiss. They are all a darker, like coffee color, brown color, and then there's also Milking Shorthorn, Guernsey, and Ayrshire, which are all similar to red and whites as just kind of different shades of red and brown.
If your classroom has been promoted to panelist and you have another question that you'd like to ask, if you'll have the teacher, if you'll use the raise the hand feature, I'll call on you again. Tyler, while we're waiting on that, what is a typical day in October like for you?
A typical day in October is normally the busiest month we have. We normally, unlike this year, we with the lack of rain, we were able to harvest earlier. But normally during this time of year, we would be chopping corn silage to feed the cows. So that's where we chop the entire plant of the corn plant, and we pile it. This year we made just shy of about 12,000 ton of corn silage just for the milk cows, and then we also made another additional about 4,000 for the young stock. So we made about 16,000 ton of corn silage, but we were able to finish that up a little bit earlier just with the drought. But this year, we also have corn that we've got to combine, and then we're also able to make bedding for, and then we make that leftover residue bedding for the heifers and calves throughout the year. So October is normally busy, and then just like everybody preparing for winter, the cold, there's a lot of cleanup, a lot of preparation. So we're not running around when it gets cold.
Well, thank you for joining us today in October when it's your busiest time. We appreciate it.
No, that's fine. It's a beautiful day though.
We're going to ask a question from the Q&A, and then we're going to go to Miss Bassett's class, then Miss Ice, then Miss Avery, and those will be our last few questions. So Tyler, Dara, sorry if I said that wrong, from Falwell Elementary, wants to know, what happens when your milk tanks fill up?
So every day at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, our milk truck driver comes and picks up milk. He empties. We have two 3,000 gallon tanks, and they're just about full. So he's able to take those. He's got a big tank that takes easily able to take them both, and they empty and then clean them. He cleans them, and then we start filling them for the next day. So every day our milk leaves the farm early in the morning.
Great
To go
question.
to go up to the cities to Calves.
Okay. Miss Bassett's class, you look like you're ready to go. You are unmuted. Go ahead.
My name is Drew, and my question is, what is it like living on a farm and running it?
Good.
That's a great question. I love living on the farm. It's fun. I have a very quick walk to work since I live on the farm. It's a easy commute for me during the winter, and during the summer it's nice. It's fun. We have a good time. It's fun working with my parents and our family together. It definitely takes all of us, and we also work with 10 or 12 other employees throughout the day too. So we see them. Yeah, no, I love living on the farm.
Miss Isis class, I'll unmute.
Do your cows like to be milked?
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, our milking parlor is busy for about 21 hours throughout the day, but each cow only spends about half an hour in the parlor total throughout her day. They're only milked for about 10 minutes morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and 10 minutes at night. So they they like it. It doesn't bother them. They all walk in by themselves. They're free to come in by themselves. So it actually is a pretty easy process. You probably saw in the video that we have mattresses in the parlor so they're comfortable while they stand there. And then when they go back, they get fresh. When they go back, there's unlimited fresh water and feed. So it's a pretty easy process that they enjoy.
All right, Miss A.
That was a great question.
Yeah, you got these students today, Tyler.
Yep.
That's really awesome.
They're bringing some good questions today.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes, they are. Miss Avery's class.
My name is Vihan, and my question is, how many gallons do you produce in 1 month?
Can you repeat
How many-
that? How many?
Scoot back up. Say it again.
How many gallons of milk do you produce in 1 month?
How many gallons of milk do we produce in 1 month? I believe, hold on one second. Let me, about 180,000 gallons of milk a month.
You might win the Stump the Farmer question.
That
You had
was,
to
that was
think
a
about
good
one
question.
for a
I know
minute.
it in pounds, but I had to figure it out into gallons. That's a
Okay,
great question.
we have time
a
for
great
two
question.
questions left, Tyler. One is
Yep.
coming from Miss Plant's class over on YouTube. They're watching over there.
Oh, cool.
And they would like to know if you have horses or pigs.
So we do not have any horses, and we did have a couple pigs this summer that my son raised, but they are gone now. So we that was an interesting topic. They spent more time outside their pen than they did inside their pen. Cows don't like to be out. They like the new barn. The pigs, they like to run around and make messes of themselves. So that's it.
Well, our last question for you today, Tyler, is what is your favorite part of being a farmer?
What is my favorite part about being a farmer? I actually really enjoy the cows. That's why in the job that I have at the farm is in charge of being in charge of the cows and making sure their health is well, they're comfortable, they give good quality milk. I just enjoy seeing the cows every day. They're easy going, they're fun to watch. It's fun watching a cow give birth, and then in 2 years that baby calf is ready to be milked. So I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing the cows every day.
Well, Tyler, we just want to say another big thank you for giving us your time today to join us in classrooms. Thank you for trying out this new format of virtual field trips with us. Teachers, I'd love it if you have time to send me an email with your thoughts on what this was like. I'll just leave you guys with, if you have not subscribed or signed up for Ag Mags, that's our free print magazine, there's still time, and you can find that over at our website. That is mnagmag.org, and I'll put that over here in the chat. Otherwise, it is 10:30, so we'll go ahead and say bye. Feel free, teachers, if you want to unmute your classrooms to say bye to Tyler. We would love that. Tyler, you can't see it, but there are lots of students waving goodbye to
Yep,
you.
that's great. I
lots
appreciate it.
of
I
thank
appreciate
yous.
all the great questions.
So thank you, everyone. We will
Bye-bye.
conclude our virtual
Thank you very
field
much. Have a
trip.
good